Just so you know that they've given you $1,200 while they gave $5 trillion to the richest people, and they don't care. And other countries aren't doing this, okay? And I'm going to show you what CNN, their business guy, has to say about this. But first, I want to show you this. This is what other countries are doing during this coronavirus. When they tell you to shut down your business, they pay your payroll for your company. So there isn't stress. Nobody gets screwed. And there isn't going to be social unrest. In Japan, they're paying 100%. 100% of the businesses, 80% for large firms. Netherlands, Norway, Germany, France, Italy, UK, Canada. The United States paying 0%. All these other countries, 75, 80, 85, 87, 90, 100%. They're paying people's payrolls. United States, 0. And they're not giving you a stimulus. And 14 million people lost their health care. 40 million people lost their jobs. 60% of the businesses that close are permanent. And 19 million people are on the brink of eviction December 31st. And here is what the CNN business guy said about stimulus.
Protection, a huge priority for McConnell. I want to ask you about Bernie Sanders and other progressives that are not happy with this stimulus package because it does not include stimulus checks. The same actually goes for Republican Josh Hawley of Missouri. But would that idea have enough impact on the economy that it would lead to ultimately spiking this bill altogether, do you think?
Well, I think the criticism is right in the sense that this $908 billion package is not enough to get the economy through the whole pandemic. And what's interesting is, as you mentioned, it's not just from the left. We heard Senator Josh Hawley say that he told President Trump that he thinks Trump should veto the whole thing if stimulus checks are not included. But, the economists that I'm talking to, they say, listen, we don't know that stimulus checks are really needed right now.
The economist he's talking to? Who are you talking to, Larry Kudlow? Who are you talking to, Ebenezer Scrooge? The economists you're talking to right now? The economists you're talking to right now? Who are they? Who are the economists you're talking to? The economists he's talking to say we don't need a stimulus check right now. Americans can't afford groceries right now. There's 19 million people on the brink of being evicted. You have a $5,000 suit and a $200,000 consulting job at CNN. And you're saying we don't need a stimulus check. I wonder why. Just imagine the culture. Just imagine the culture at CNN where you're allowed to go on TV and say something like that he knows he won't be, A, get in trouble for, but B, he'll get rewarded. This is nothing but propaganda. This is worse than Pravda. This is worse than state-run media. This is unbelievable. You want to hear him again? I'll play it for you.
They say, listen, we don't know that stimulus checks are really needed right now. A lot of Americans would probably just save that money rather than spend it.
Why would they save money?
Americans would save that. There are 19 million people on the brink of being evicted right now. They'd probably just save it. 14, 15 million people lost their health care. They'd probably just save it. This is the kind of... And nothing will happen to his career. He'll get a raise after this.
He's going to fail up. I wouldn't be surprised if he's not a member of Biden's cabinet soon.
And there's a lot of really good stuff in this package, including extending the unemployment benefits that I was talking about earlier, forgivable loans for small businesses, state and local aid from the federal government. And so, you don't want to just kill the whole bill because of that single issue. I mean, it's like if your house was on fire, you wouldn't turn away the one fire truck that comes up just because you think two are needed. You would take the help and hope to get some more.
Yeah, like if that fire truck shows up to your house when it's on fire, and it shows up with nothing but gasoline in it to spray on your house, you take it. Because it's wet, I guess. You can't let the perfect get in the way of the useless. So the media is part of the ruling class. Do you understand? Do you see the problem here? Do you see why we have a show? They'll never let a progressive on MSNBC talk about the war. CNN will never let... Do you think they'd have on who's our favorite economist? Dr.
Stephanie Kelton?
No, the guy
Oh, Mark Blythe?
Richard Wolff.
Oh,
Are you talking to Richard Wolff, the economist you're talking? I'm going to guess that's not one of the economists you talk to.
mm-mm.
This is their lead business guy saying, "Nah, we don't need stimulus checks."
Yeah, that's the idea. You can't let perfect get in the way of helpful or just good. Matt Egan,
Or
CNN
shit.
Business.
Yeah, or shit. You can't let perfect get in the way of absolutely useless. They're all in agreement. Of every panel is like that. They're all in agreement on some horrible idea. The last time I showed you a 3-person panel at CNN, they were all in agreement that pulling troops out of Afghanistan was a bad idea. That's CNN. More right-wing than Fox. And by the way, is that the male face of... That's the male Karen, if there ever was one. Am I right?
Oh, well, that's totally the face of Smugnorant.
If Can I Ask to Speak to the Manager was a face, there it is. Let's see what it says. Let's see what his bio says. Matt Egan is the lead writer for CNN Business. He provides analysis on the day's biggest business stories, covering everything from Wall Street and the stock market to energy. Egan also tweets throughout the day at the latest market moves and corporate news. So nothing. He has no accomplishments. None. He was just handed this job. He has no accomplishments.
Well, if you notice, he's only covering concepts, not people.
Right.
He doesn't understand the needs of people.
Right.
He only understands capitalism and the market.
Not one accomplishment. You'd think they would list something he did of note.
I'm relieved he didn't include Happy Father.
Nothing. Yeah. Yeah.
Proud daddy.
Proud father and husband. Hey, fuckface. What's this guy's name? Hey, fuckface Matt Egan. Nearly 19 million Americans are going to lose their home in December 31st. Did the economist you talked to not tell you that? Hey, Matt, thousands are in cars, form lines to collect foods. Did the economist you talked to, they didn't tell you that part? You know why they're in their cars in thousands in lines to get food? Because it's all that money they're saving, Matt. Because they're probably just saving their money.
They need to talk to an expert.
Can I just tell you that by the way, the name of his shampoo, Pure Evil, just so you know. Pure Evil.
Oh.
That's what this guy calls him, Pure Evil. Apparently, we should be grateful we're getting nothing because maybe they'll throw us a crumb in a couple of months. $1,200 or less was sent out over 6 months ago. Do these people think we're all sitting on piles of money and pretending to be poor? Yes, I guess Matt Egan, that's what he thinks. People in America are pretending to be poor. This is their business guy. That's their lead business guy. That's the kind of info you get at CNN. But CNN says YouTube is dangerous. You got to stop advertising on YouTube. But so we could do this. Record high unemployment, widespread food insecurity, small business shutdowns, and CNN has on an expert whose opinion on stimulus checks is that the economists I'm talking to are saying people would rather save that money than spend it, and it wouldn't help the economy. It's unreal. Another stimulus check is critical. This is from fucking Newsweek. Newsweek. Could you be more mainstream? Corporate than Newsweek, and their headline is that a stimulus check is critical. More than 125 economists say. But the jagoff from CNN, nah. And you ever get a chance to go on CNN and you don't rip them a new asshole? Look at that. Another stimulus check is critical to economic recovery. More than 125 economists say. That's from November 24th. CNN, no, we're good. Another stimulus check. Wow. So this pandemic is 100% proof that capitalism not only requires human misery and oppression to work, but in fact it thrives on it, and then it tries to sell it back to you. Hey, the stock market is at 30,000. Billionaires have increased their wealth by almost $1 trillion already. Everything is for them. The system isn't meant for us. The United States isn't meant for us. Hey, everybody, this is the part where I tell you where all our live shows are, but there aren't any. And then this is why I tell you to join our premium program and get extra content, but nobody's got a fucking job. So just enjoy the video.